one of your humble hosts, Shin the Hero, aka Walt, and I'm joined by my DragonBroz.
Old Hunter Rage, Isaac. What's up, everybody?
And today we're talking about stuff we hate in Dragon Ball in general. We got a list compiled of things that we just... There's just some things in the... It's just for any fan, any fan in general about some things, about something, any media whatsoever, whatever they like. There are always those things that just don't sit well with you, even being a fan of the genre. We both got,
you're right.
We both got like a 5-person list. Not 5 on each list.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the 10 things we hate about Dragon Ball, and I'm pretty sure these are probably nitpicks, if anything. But Isaac,
maybe.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Well, my first one is with Dragon Ball. There's, at least now,
BoJack. I totally agree.
I hope he's on your list, actually. No, he's not. I actually kind of like BoJack. I like him even more now because you hate him. It's just funny to rant about him.
Of course. Goddamn mistake of a pirate.
But one thing I hate about the show is that there's, at least now, there's little to no, like, surprises. I think the last surprise in the series that I can remember was like mystery, if that's a better word for it. There's no mystery in the show. The last mystery I can remember is who's Goku Black, and there was a lot of theories about it. And then it turned out to be, Zamasu who switched bodies, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But other than that, it's become a tournament arc, or it's become a tournament show where the tournament used to just be an arc in the show. Now it's practically the entire show, which is not fun anymore. And there's like no plot surprises. I mean, like that. The only surprises they do now are what form or what hair color are they in, and that's about it. And that's not appealing to me anymore. I don't know if that made sense. It made sense to me, but
I get where you come from. It makes sense. Like I get it. But at the same time, Dragon Ball's not, at least what I see anyway. Dragon Ball's not that deep or complicated to something like Hunter x Hunter or Attack on Titan. I don't think you never really got mysteries in general. I mean, if you could count these mysteries, like, what was terrorizing Ginger Town at the time? What was Cell whole deal, and where'd he come from until he told us?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now I'm really thinking about it. There's not that many, like, you could count as quote-unquote mysteries and stuff like that. Like, even, like, Frieza, when he first was introduced and everything, King Kai warned Goku about it, but we never saw him and everything, and we was wondering what he looked like and everything. I guess you could count that as a mystery, but it's never been... It's, at its core, it's always been a fighting manga anime. I mean, originally it started out as a comedy gag manga type thing.
Yeah.
Because originally, I mean, I know early that before the whole tournament arc, the very first one anyway, Dragon Ball wasn't doing that hot. It wasn't that popular. And then the tournament thing happened, and then the rest is history, I guess.
And, like, I don't, not that it's really like a bad thing. It was just like, it's probably because of the stuff that I like since having seen Dragon Ball, all the anime that I've since watched after that, and like you see how stories are told in other anime, and you kind of want that to happen in other shows, and then when they don't happen, it's like a little bit disappointing because you want that. It's not really that I want the show to grow up. There's one character that I want to grow up. We'll get to that. That's a whole thing on my list. But it's not really that I want the show to grow up. Just I wish they would, I don't know, do something different. Fighting is cool. I mean, the Granolah arc is starting to feel different, and the moral arc was kind of different. Ultimately, they end up in the same place that Dragon Ball always ends up.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I was about to say. That I mean, the moral arc and the Granolah arc, especially the Granolah arc. Right now, I mean, Granolah is like the main character in this arc right now. It all revolves around him. Same thing with the moral arc. He wasn't. I mean, he was a villain and everything, but like he was almost like the main character. It all did revolve around him. But you can say the same thing with the Goku Black arc. Especially that beginning. And then more arc kind of petered into regular Dragon Ball, and I just feel like this Granolah arc is probably gonna turn into regular Dragon Ball too.
It probably will.
I mean, the only thing that really circumvent that was the Brawly movie, because that was slightly different, where Brawly actually grew as a character and he's living on a planet to be forgotten.
Yeah, and see, with him it was different because it was like it was this angle of, usually you see a character that shows up and they want to fight, they want to do all this kind of stuff. Broly was a pawn in somebody else's game and practically didn't know any better and got thrown into a fight that, even though he did pretty well, got thrown into a fight he never should have picked in the first place. Like, if Broly had been able to just, do his own thing, I guarantee he probably wouldn't have picked a fight with them. Something else would have happened, he would have been on their side from the beginning. But, that was one of the first moments recently in Dragon Ball where I was like, what's the word? Sympathy, I guess, for a character like I really didn't want. As much as I like watching Broly fight, I didn't want to see him fight because I knew what was going to come of it. And you see, he practically snaps and goes insane during the fight, and it's as cool as it was to watch. It was just like emotionally painful to watch this kid go through this. Or not really a kid; he's like 30-something years old. But yeah.
Well, that also stems from his dad too. Like, his dad was the one that was trying to get revenge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get where you're coming from, and that's a pretty good point. Like which you'll get into mine if I like. My biggest thing is there's not world building. I mean, we're getting a little bit more world building and lore now, but like early Dragon Ball Z and all that junk, it wasn't that much world building. Like, everything almost revolved around Earth and stuff. Just about everything. We went to Namek once, and that was that.
Yeah, we spent a couple minutes on Yard Rat, and that was it. Yeah, if our characters aren't there, neither are we, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, like it's weird because I know I've been watching and reading a lot of stuff over the years. I have watched and read a lot of stuff over the years, but like these modern day shonens, like your Demon Slayers, your My Heroes, they do something different, like when introducing all these colorful characters, but they actually do stuff with them, and then they build on stuff with the characters. They do stuff like it would be nice if Dragon Ball, or if Dragon Ball was more like One Piece. Like, One Piece has action. I have my own qualms about One Piece, but One Piece has its own great world building. Like, the world feels lived in. Versus Dragon Ball in general, it doesn't really feel lived in. Like, a perfect example of that was the Tournament of Power arc, and when they was recruiting people. Just so happens everybody that we needed was on Earth, and then the person we also bring back is Frieza. Versus there's countless of people in the world, in that universe, that because it was supposed to be a universal fight. There's countless of people we could have brought in, even countless of people who are dead in the other world, like, because we brought back Frieza. But everybody's on Earth, and we brought back Frieza, and that's the rep for Universe 7. Like, I just feel like that was a whole cop out thing. And then with Shin Supreme Kai saying like, yeah, there's only like 20 something planets out there. I was like, is it though? Is it? Because I mean, I believe that, I know this is filler. The other 4 Kais, like King Kai, they had their own quadrant of the universe. So like, or the galaxy, couldn't they re-brought them into the fray, and we would have had more fighters and stuff like that? It's just, right. I don't know. It might be, and I can't blame it on Dragon Ball, all of it, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's Toriyama's thing, and he doesn't really plan. He does things at the seat of his pants. I mean, the Buu Saga is a perfect example of that. But like, it's just, I don't know. I can't really sit here and say like Toriyama's a great writer. If anything,
I can't really either. He's got like, I don't know. He's got a good sense of like what's cool and stuff, but you know, story stuff, no, not really.
Yeah, one of my biggest things, or one of the things I hope for, is the next time we get a villain, it'd be a female. Like, let's get some strong female characters other than 18.
Yeah, I could see that.
Let's get a female
villain. Bring in Android 21 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want more female stuff.
You just want more statues. I know you.
No, it's not even that. I don't even want more statues. It's just, like, do more. Like, it's been, 30 years, and we still really don't know what the backstory is on Frieza. What his race is actually called. How Frieza was born, or how their, things were created, or anything like that. And I don't care about the Daijinshus and all that junk. I don't care about that, because that's not in the mangas, and that's not in the show. And that's where I get my lore and whatnot from, not from these extra information books and everything. If they weren't in the manga or the shows, then I don't care.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. It's like, you know how a lot of shows do that thing where like the main character is fighting somebody. They're fighting. Demon Slayer does this a lot. With almost every demon, they end up fighting. Once that demon is about to die, there's like a whole 10-minute segment of backstory about that one demon. I'm not expecting Dragon Ball to do that kind of thing, because that many villains don't show up per episode. But, I mean, I think I would like Frieza a lot more if there was like an episode about his backstory. There is no backstory for Frieza. He's just a short dickbag who likes to take over planets. Besides the whole thing of like conquering planets and then selling them to the highest bidder, all that.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that's that. And even Boo, like we know very little about Boo. Like we know, we believe he was created by Bibbidi, but he wasn't. Like Bibbidi was found Boo. Like how was Boo actually created and whatnot? How did and why was Moro locked away for so long? Why didn't how strong were the Supreme Kais actually was? Like the whole Super Saiyan, the first Super Saiyan thing with Yamamoshi. Like what how? Like who is this guy? That's like world building and more universal stuff that could be did for Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
the most. It's so weird to think about because Vegeta, going back to like the Frieza arc, Vegeta was the one who knew about the legend of the Super Saiyan and everything like that. I was like, that's cool that you keep randomly saying this legend, but I would like to know the legend, please. and Goku does it, and they're like, oh, there he is. Like, okay, cool. So what was the legend about? They're like, no, there's no legend. It was just him. Thanks. I would love to get like. This goes back to a movie idea I think we talked about before, but I wish they would do a movie where they showed the Saiyan race before Frieza showed up, and then you show like what the balance of power was when Frieza showed up and how that whole thing started. Because I always thought about it like the Saiyan race was ruled by somebody completely different, not even the Vegeta family. Somebody completely different. They were ruling kindly. The Saiyans weren't as crazy as they, were known to be. Frieza shows up, overthrows this family that's, been ruling, and then just randomly picks somebody, and he's like, you get to be the royal family of the Saiyans now, and it's Vegeta's family.
That would be King Cole, not Frieza.
Or yeah, excuse me. You're right, Big Frieza. Big Daddy Frieza.
No, what's the fourth thing? What's the fourth thing you don't like?
The forms, actually. I used to love Super Saiyan forms, and now you hear the joke. It's all just different hair color. It doesn't feel like. It was cool. I'll say Super Saiyan God was cool. The red hair was cool. I liked that idea. And then I don't know where it went wrong in my head, but as soon as they went to blue, I was like, all right, I think I've had enough. I just don't like the idea of blue. Because it was like Super Saiyan God was this brand new form we had never seen before. And then immediately they were like, what if we combine it with regular Super Saiyan and you get blue from it? Like, whatever. And I guess this goes in conjunction with it, where like all these forms start to lose their value in the show. You know what I mean? Because like you remember, Super Saiyan happened, and then Trunks showed up. He got Super Saiyan. Vegeta did it, then Gohan did it. Gohan bumped it up. Vegeta bumped it up. Trunks bumped it up. And then it got to the point where like you started seeing Super Saiyan everywhere, and then it was like, all right, I'm starting to get Super Saiyan fatigue. And then Gohan got like the ultimate, potential unleashed thing, and I was like, oh, that's a cool form. And it was nice to see that only Gohan can do that. And it was nice to see like now we have a form that only one character in this entire series can do. And then They did the Super Saiyan God thing, and I was like, okay, Super Saiyan God looks like it's going to be, you know, I wouldn't say like a last resort kind of thing, but he's not going to be able to do it that often. And then they went blue, and now blue is basically the new Super Saiyan, because they barely ever go regular Super Saiyan anymore. You see blue everywhere. Luckily, you know, it's only 2 characters that can do it right now, but I don't know if it's going to get any crazier than that. But and stuff like, what was it? When Trunks in the Goku Black arc did the Super Saiyan Rage thing, which I still don't understand because they never really explained it. I thought that was cool. But it's like, you know, it's few and far between that you get a form that's actually unique and is not about to be overused to hell. You know what I mean?
Well, like, the piggyback on that, the forms, the transformations, and not even just Super Saiyan, but the transformations in general, have got kind of lazy. But at the same time, I know, I think the reason why Trunks got the Super Saiyan Rage thing was, like, he was technically, when he said it, he was technically a Supreme Kai. So he did have some kind of knowledge about the God Key thing. And that's the thing that, that bothers me the biggest thing. I guess that could be my 4th one. Is there's a lot of stuff that is like exclusive to Goku or exclusive to Vegeta, but in hindsight, in reality, everyone can obtain God Key. That's the reason why they have Super Saiyan Blue in general. That's what Super Saiyan Blue is. It's Super Saiyan mixed with God Key. Everybody can learn that. It should be, and at least Gohan should have been able to have it. Like when you had said about Ultimate Gohan, Mr. Gohan little form, anybody technically can get that, can get their potentials unlocked to that degree. So like there's and one of my biggest things is the Kaioken. At least the humans could have learned this, like Krillin, Tien, hell, Yamcha. They could have learned this. That's why I feel some type of way about Ultra Instinct and everything, because that's also another thing where it shouldn't be exclusive to Goku. Anybody can learn that. But I feel like, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of characters like Piccolo are due for some come-ups, and he would, I think that should be able, Piccolo should be able to learn how to do some kind of god type thing, because of Kami, and he fused with Kami, and Kami was the god of Earth. So he should have God Key and all that junk. Like Piccolo should have some kind of new thing, but he doesn't.
Piccolo. I really want him to get something new too. I don't know. Maybe one day. At the same time, I kind of doubt it.
And the form that really bothers me that they don't do nothing with is Super Saiyan 3. Like Super Saiyan 3, I get, like, it doesn't, Super Saiyan 3 doesn't make a lot of sense to me with the whole drawback of it used too much energy and all that jazz. How do you improve on Super Saiyan, original Super Saiyan, and then ascend to Super Saiyan 2 with no real flaws or anything like that, and then you go to Super Saiyan 3 and you got all the flaws, and I'm just like, why couldn't Goku just, like, you know, train in Super Saiyan 3 like he did the other ones? I don't believe, and I love Masako to death, but I don't believe this because the only reason why Goku can use Super Saiyan 4 was in Otherworld, because his body wasn't alive, and I just was like, well then, what about Super Saiyan Blue? That puts out way more energy than Super Saiyan 3.
And he uses that way more often than any other form now.
But yeah, it's
like,
it's those type of things that really bother me. Not even just the Super Saiyan stuff, but like the technique wise. I don't understand why Chaozu, Tien, Yamcha, and Piccolo don't know the Spirit Bomb or the Kaioken when they went to King Kai's planet as well.
Yeah, that's true. Like, even Krillin knows it to a certain degree because he had to launch it himself one time. And it was like it was a small version, but it was still a Spirit Bomb. So even he knows it to some degree.
I don't know if
nobody else does.
I don't know if you can say he knows it because Goku did everything. He just transferred the energy to Krillin and told him how to make the ball. That was it. I don't know if he knows about the gathering part and everything like that, but it'd be nice.
I think he's seen it enough times to know. And like, I feel like people don't give Krillin enough credit. Krillin is incredibly smart. I feel like he could figure it out. And having gotten a feeling for it anyway, I wouldn't expect him to do like a giant one, obviously, but I would expect him like to be able to do the small one and I don't know, do some kind of variation on it, like a Spirit Destructo Disc. I don't know. That's not a bad idea.
Spirit Destructo Disc.
Like it's a Destructo Disc, but it's blue. You know. I don't know how that will work. I mean, because the Destructo Disc is already like capable of cutting through mountains and shit. So.
Yeah, but when was the last time the Destructo Disc actually did something? Frieza. That was it.
Is that really the last time?
That's the last time the Destructo Disc actually did something to anything. And the last time that I can remotely remember it actually being used was against Cell. I don't know I can't recall if it was used in Super, but the last time it was used on Cell, and then Cell used it to fight Goku.
There was one he used it in Super. There was that episode where he was training with Goku or something.
Ah, yeah, yes. I can't remember if he did or not, but like, there's that, and then the technique things. Like, people, they could have came up with different type of techniques for everybody. Like, I don't know, Yamcha could get Hyper Wolfang Fist or something like that. Krillin can make up this brand new technique or something like that. There's a lot of fanfare, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm being nitpicky or whatnot. But there's some stuff that there's stuff that only Saiyans can do, and then there's stuff that everybody should be able to do. That's why I like Dragon Ball Multiverse as much as I did. The little webcomic thing.
Yeah.
That's why I like that as much as I do, because like almost all the humans in that have a Kaioken, and then there's creative techniques and stuff like that. That one right there has more world. That's the ideal world building thing where I wish Dragon Ball can do.
Yeah. I hate to sound so dejected. Like, now that we're actually talking about this stuff, it makes me sad. Like, I love, we talked about, I think we did a list of our favorite Dragon Ball moves, and, I love the big flashy stuff. And then the fact that we made an entire list just off of Kamehamehas is, like, cool, and then at the same time, you really think about it, and you're like, damn. Kamehameha is overused.
Yeah. Speaking of Kamehamehas, we'll get into my third one. Is Look, man, I hate BoJack. Not gonna lie, BoJack is terrible. He's an accident. Shouldn't have been. I know the movies aren't canon or anything like that, but boy, I hate BoJack with a freaking passion. You cannot sit here and tell me anything about this nigga BoJack that make me would like BoJack, especially how fast Gohan. Gohan wasn't even really fighting before he went Super Saiyan 2. Gohan was already stronger than him. I don't understand. He went through him like Swiss cheese. BoJack shot his. BoJack got the same medicine thing like Goku did when he shot the Kamehameha at Cooler. Gohan shot a Kamehameha at BoJack. Was like, nah, I take that back, and went through his beam and went through him. He went through BoJack. And then the Vegeta thing, that also made me mad too. I was like, there's no way this fool BoJack, there's no way you're telling me BoJack is as strong as Perfect Cell. No way. Even in his bigger green form, which is so stupid. BoJack is a terrible character. Like, I like his concept, like how oh no, I'll take that back. I don't even like the concept. That's stupid. Why King Kai didn't tell Goku, like, hey man, my planet actually it's a key holding something real dangerous, and that's with the other 4 planets, so never let my planet die. Why King Kai never told him that? And that's a stupid way to lock somebody up in the first place. Oh man, BoJack angers me. The movie shouldn't exist. The only good thing that came out of the BoJack movie, well, the only 2 good things that came out of BoJack movie was sleeveless Trunks and and the female girl, Zaraya or whatever you want to call it. Everything else, waste of freaking time.
Right.
Thank you for listening to my rant.
I can't really argue with anything you said, because I mean, the only things I liked from the BoJack movie were, like, you know, sleeveless Trunks is obviously a highlight. Gohan at the end transforming was dope, and that's really about it. That was back when, like, those Dragon Ball movies were animated that specific way, and it's the specific way that I like, and then it comes in the nice steelbook DVD case. You know, it's all really nostalgia. Plus, for some reason, Trunks versus Tien, I always really liked that fight. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that fight, but I like watching those 2 fight each other. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I do like talking BoJack up.
BoJack is just a stupid concept. Oh my god, I hate BoJack with passion. They could have did anything else. Hell, we could have brought back Cooler for the 3rd time. I don't know. Oh my god. BoJack was just terrible. BoJack was so weak, in my opinion. Goten and Trunks could have handled him. Not fused. What's the 3rd thing for you?
Well, okay. This one is, I feel like we talked about this before too. I used to be a huge Goku fan, and I still kind of am, but it's a certain version of Goku that I like the most. This version of Goku that's in Super, I can't stand him. And I get a lot of flack about that, because they're like, that's the way he's always been. No, that's not the way I remember him. Because they wrote him so differently in Z. You remember, because I think you're the one who was talking about this before. They wrote him to be like a Superman character. So he was like a straight up superhero. And then you see how he is in Super, and I was like, especially, and this is always the one that I come back to, where like Trunks kissed Mai, and then Goku's like, did he just put his lips up to hers like that? And Vegeta's like, yeah, kiss. You want to do that with your wife? He's like, no, I've never kissed Kiki. I'm like, what the fuck? What? You got 2 kids and you ain't never kissed your wife before? I don't know what it is, because like, I know people were talking about, yeah, he's always been that way. Which Goku were you looking at? I don't think we grew up with the same Goku, if that's what you're saying. Like, I know he's always been oblivious and shit. He thought a wedding was food, which, I mean, a certain aspect of a wedding is food related. So, I mean, he wasn't too far from the truth. But, like, he grew up and then had 2 kids, and went to such lengths to save the people he cared about. And now he's just a meathead. And, like, the argument can be made, yeah, he's always been that way. Well, I don't know. It might just be me then. But I never really saw him as a meathead until recently. It's sad.
Well, my thing about that is Super regressed the Goku character. They regressed a lot of characters because like Vegeta still learned the same damn lessons in almost every arc, and that he already learned in Z. And Goku, it feels like Goku got regressed because he's more like Goku's like dumber than he was. I mean, and he's not. I wouldn't say Goku's dumb by any means, but it's like he lost all his common sense. He's not the Goku that we know. And I get the dub version of Goku is the most flattering version. That's what they say. I mean, I know Dragon Ball purists wouldn't look at that Goku, but and they're not. People aren't wrong because Goku's way more selfish in Super, but that's how he was written in the manga. Mm-hmm. He was intended to be like Toriyama said it a couple of times. Goku is a selfish person. He's not supposed to be a hero, whatever. Yeah, sure, he'll protect his friends and everything and make sure the Earth is okay. But at the end of the day, what Goku wants is to fight strong guys, plain and simple, and test his strength. That's what he wants. Which you kind of saw in the Tournament of Power. Especially at the beginning of that, how they was labeling him as a villain. And I was like, man, this is interesting. Let's flirt with this. Like, Goku be not a villain for real, but like, let him be a villain. But even then, they still didn't like make him be considered the antagonist. He wasn't the antagonist. He was still the protagonist in that situation. But I mean, I get what you are saying. Like, he's not. I wouldn't say he's a meathead, but like he's not doing a lot of great things in the show right now, or in the manga right now, because it feels like every arc Goku gets worse.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like, I remember when Goku wanted the tournament to happen, right? He asked Zeno, which, by the way, I mean, okay, I thought his friendship with Zeno was cute, because finally Zeno had somebody who just could hang out with, and Goku was a literal child with him all the time. I was like, okay, that's fine, you know, game recognizes game, I guess. But and when Goku was like, hey, what if we did a tournament with all the universe? And they were like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you come to find out the rules for the tournament. If the universe loses, they get wiped out. And I was like, Goku, that means you effectively just wiped out a number of universes because you wanted this tournament to happen. And people were like, yeah, but Zeno was looking to wipe out those universes anyway. It's like, that doesn't make a difference. That's enabling him. I don't know. It's just weird. And the fact that they always, like we were talking about the Resurrection F movie, be like, what's the word? The need for Goku to get the last hit on villains. Like, for some villains, I'm fine with, because, you know, whatever. But for some villains, he doesn't need to get the last. Like, Frieza, that should have been Vegeta's win. And I'm still pissed about it. I'm sure we talked about that in a previous video.
Yeah.
That should have been Vegeta's win. And they pulled some shit out of their ass to get Goku to be the last one to get the last hit. And then the fact that he keeps, well, I mean, you had a whole character for one of your things. We'll get to mine soon. But yeah, anyway, my number three was Goku's character regression.
Yeah, Goku time, and I know Goku's the main character, but Goku time. Like I said, I harken back to One Piece. Luffy does pull out some wins out of his ass. I am still to this day upset about Luffy versus Lucci. I was down with Lucci, and I'm still to this day upset about that fight. But like, I take that back, because normally there is a formula in One Piece anyway, because Luffy normally fights the strongest person, but it's not always the case though, because there was a few times where like Sanji and Zolo fought the strongest person. They didn't finish him, Luffy was, but like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm really trying to say about the whole thing, but like, Goku time is a problem. I know a lot of people say that, and as it stands right now, Dragon Ball, at least Super, is mainly about Goku, but I think Vegeta is sliding in there. He's becoming the second protagonist, and everybody else is in the foreground, and that's why I feel like this arc might be a little different with Vegeta, but he might actually get that win. Besides, you know, killing the low lives, the second people.
Yeah, it's like Vegeta's been relegated to being a henchman at this point. Like, still a high up henchman, but a henchman nonetheless.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is, this might be a big one. It's not even about the show itself. The fan base is toxic as shit. And it's just like, there's some moments where I just like, I don't even want to be a fan anymore. I don't want to be associated with these people. It's just like, you know, not the whole fan base, but let me just put that out there, because I am part of the fan base. Oh, I can't incriminate myself like that. But it's these guys who look at Dragon Ball as the greatest thing since sliced bread. And if it's your favorite show, that's cool. I completely understand. But if you go to such lengths as to break down at every possible moment anything else that people like, because you like Dragon Ball so much, you are now dumb. That's a terrible thing to do. And it's like, and also this crowd, because he beat Goku though. Man, if I could throw a book at these people, I would. And it sucks because I used to be one of those people. I used to be like heavy on Dragon Ball. I still love Dragon Ball. But like, I used to be that kid who, if somebody even remotely said anything that sounded negative about Dragon Ball, I'd jump on their case and be like, "No, fuck you. This is the greatest show on earth." Now I'm like, you know, people like other shit, and even Dragon Ball used to be at the top of my list. Now it's like I don't know, fourth or fifth. You know, there's like 3 other shows in front of it because I like them more now. But it's just, it's one of those things where sometimes you feel ashamed to be a fan because you see how these other fans are acting out and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Does that still count? Does the fan base count as a thing?
Oh yeah, the fan base. I would say the fan base does count. Like, Dragon Ball fans are probably the most toxic fan base in the shonen thing. I would say it'd be Dragon Ball fans, then Naruto fans, and then probably One Piece fans. One Piece fans are terrible too. Don't ever try to be like, Chaozu can run through everybody in One Piece. Oh, yo, that is a terrible thing to say. Oh man, like Dragon Ball fans are just as bad. I mean, because there are people who are like, yeah, Naruto's running through everybody in Dragon Ball. And it's mainly the power scalers and the debaters who like this person can beat this person in fights and like that.
Yeah, it's just like at some point, yeah, thinking about those fights is fun because, well, and it's like a friend of mine was asking me one night. He's like giving me certain Naruto characters versus certain Dragon Ball characters, and we were talking about them like actual, bouts. Like characters have advantages and disadvantages. We went into so and so, and that was a good time because it wasn't like we were leaning heavily towards one side. We were playing, the advantages of both sides to see who would actually win. But, you get arguments that are like, Goku's a galaxy buster. What's a ninja gonna do to a galaxy buster? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, some Naruto characters do some outlandish shit. And they might not win, but they'll make it hard for some people. It's just the fact that some people in this fan base think that this show is the end all be all. There's no show better than this. Go to such lengths to go out of their way to make sure that other fans of other shows feel as terribly about themselves as possible because they like something else. It's just, it feels, it again, sometimes I just feel ashamed that I'm a Dragon Ball fan. It's sad.
You are supposed to be my brothers. We are supposed to have the high ground.
Now y'all sitting down. Now look at you. Sitting in lava up to your knees. Just shameful. Yeah, that's my number 2.
Well, yeah, that was my number 2 too. I have to 100,002% agree. Like, yeah, like the fan base is pretty toxic, especially it's this bad. I mean, if I had to. Everything you just said, like, it does feel ashamed sometimes. You're like, yeah, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, but at the same time, there are some stuff that I want to debate about against people, like, because most people look at Dragon Ball, especially the people who haven't seen it, and go on the fact like they just yelling for 14 episodes, which isn't true. It is not true whatsoever. That's just ignorant right there.
Yeah.
They're sometimes just warranted to defend one of your favorite shows, but I mean, do it in a tasteful manner. Just don't disregard someone else's opinion and whatnot just because you feel like you're right and they're wrong. Everything is subjective.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to our number 1 point. I'll just go ahead and go into it. I'm not nothing against you, Sane Scholar. I love you. You do great work. But Super Saiyan 4 is a terrible. I don't know why people defend Super Saiyan 4. I don't know why people like Super Saiyan 4. It's a dumb transformation, and in my opinion, it shouldn't be called the Super Saiyan form. It shouldn't even be associated with the Super Saiyan in general, because there's nothing super about it. And it's annoying with the whole primal instinct thing that people were going on about the Super Saiyan 4. Like, the Super Saiyan 4 is not appealing visually to me, and it's derived from, it's almost like a Digivolve form, because it comes from the Great Ape form, or the Ozaru form. It comes from that, and it should just be another like subform of the Ozarus, not be called the Super Saiyan 4 transformation at all. But like it's you're big, you got this ridiculous red fur coat thing on, looking half werewolf, half man. I mean, like, the concept behind it didn't make no sense. So what you're telling me is Goku turned into a golden ape, which not is explained. Looked at the moon, because that's the moon now can turn you into looked at the earth, my bad, can make you turn into a golden ape. And then after that, he gets his senses back, and not only does he not have gold fur, he has red pinkish fur. Where the hell did this come from? Why? And he's an adult too? That makes no sense. And where did those pants come from? Where did those pants come from? Look, I get people love Super Saiyan 4. I know it's a beloved form and everything. I particularly like Super Saiyan 3 myself, and I know a lot of people hate Super Saiyan 3. But like, the form itself, there's nothing wrong with the form. It's just nothing as Super Saiyan, and it's a lot more than less. It's like the opposite of what Toriyama normally does. I mean, look at for instance, when we finally got a new form, Super Saiyan God, how Goku turned so small and slender and stuff like that. Like, Toriyama's whole thing is normally the less something is, the cooler it is. Not how bulked up something is and everything like that. It's just, the form itself is... My biggest gripe is, like, it shouldn't be called a Super Saiyan form, because there's nothing super about it. It could be a Saiyan form, yes. And I have no doubt that they will probably incorporate this in canon. And that's the other thing about it, is like, it's canon or whatnot. And I know some people don't care for the canon debate and everything, but I come from reading comic books and everything, and continuity is very important to a comic book fan. And when I look at GT, there's some stuff about GT I don't like, but there's some stuff in GT that are great, like par. But the Super Saiyan 4 thing, it is a great concept. It's just, I feel like it was executed terribly. But there's so much stuff about it, so much merchandise for Super Saiyan 4. It's one of those things that's not gonna die. And then there's these people now, and I guess it's Dragon Ball Heroes' fault, but it's these people now who think Super Saiyan 4 is on par with Super Saiyan Blue. That boggles my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I mean, you pretty much said everything I like about it. I like the way it looks. But then again, we've had this discussion before. I'm easy to please. So, I like the way it looks. I didn't really like the way got it. That was kind of weird and kind of a loophole. And I like where it sits on, like, I like that it is a Super Saiyan form, because I feel like it's the highest possible form a Saiyan can get, because it seems like it's, going as close to grade 8 without going grade 8. You have to come out of grade 8 to be in this form. Which is why I think Broly in the new movie is getting closer and closer to this form. I don't know, they probably won't call it Super Saiyan form, but they'll call it, something else. But I don't know what to tell you all.
Man, I like that. There was a time that I did like Super Saiyan 4 when I was younger. Because Super Saiyan 4 was the first thing I actually saw before I got into Dragon Ball. Like, on the wee old days of the internet, dial-up internet, there was this thing called AOL that came on the disc. Anyway, I saw a picture of Super Saiyan 4, and the picture that I actually saw was a fan-made picture of the Gohan, where he's in Super Saiyan 4, he got his glasses off, and he got that book in his hand. I actually drew that picture at one point.
Yeah. You and me both.
When I first saw it, I was like, what is this? But as I got older and started to understand more, and rewatching GT and everything, it's just, I started to hate the form. Hate is a strong word. Dislike the form. And it's just, and then when I started to actually think on it more and more, I'm just like, this is dumb. Why is this form a thing? But I guess, and then it also, when you talk to GT fans, most GT fans just say the good thing that came out of GT was Super Saiyan 4, which I wouldn't think that's not the case. There's a lot of good things that came out of Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan 4, that came out of GT, but besides Super Saiyan 4, but like, it's just, I don't know, the concept it's just, I don't know, it's dumb. I don't like, that's my disagreement on Super Saiyan 4. It's just, I don't know. I hate it.
I get it. I totally understand. I'm not going to fault you for it. Not out loud, anyway.
What's your number one thing?
My number one is Frieza. Fuck Frieza.
Man, Frieza got a song. Frieza, Frieza, Frieza,
Frieza.
Look,
that song is on my playlist, surprisingly. It's a good metal song. I like metal. The movie was cool. But I don't know.
The movie was not cool. Like, out of all the movies,
the movie was a cool experience. Out
of all the movies, there are 3 movies that I feel strongly that should not exist. Frieza, Resurrection of the Elf is one of them. Bio Broly and BoJack. Yeah. Those should not exist. They make no sense on why. Besides, and all those, except for BoJack, I don't think that's a cash grab. Because who likes BoJack? Nobody. Stupid green pirate. He's so stupid. Now, if they turned them into Jack Sparrow, now we're talking. But anyway, they're all money grabs, especially Resurrection of the Elf. Bringing back Frieza was a big deal, and you saw how much money that raked in because he's a popular villain.
I agree. And look, I was hyped for that movie, right? Because, and this kind of goes back to the first thing we talked about, little to no surprises in this series. I was like, I wonder why they're bringing back Frieza. I wonder if it's going to be, for some other reason than to just have him fight Goku and Vegeta again. And then you go see the movie, and that's literally all it is. They brought him back, and then Frieza was like, hey, I'm going to train for a month and become more powerful than I ever have been, and then I'll fight again. I was like, that can't be it. And like I was saying, the movie's a good experience because that was the first Dragon Ball movie I got to see in theaters. I didn't get to see Battle of Gods in theaters. That was a whole different thing. I was gonna go, and then nobody went with me, and I was like, I don't want to go to the movie by myself, so I didn't go. But yeah, seeing a Dragon Ball movie on the big screen was a big deal, and it was, it was a fun watch, especially once Vegeta got to start fighting and, started kicking Frieza's ass, and all of us felt like, oh shit, Vegeta's gonna get the win here, and then they did the ass thing. But at this point, I can't stand Frieza. I used to love him because there was a thing about Frieza, the fact that he was the villain that got Goku to turn into a Superman. That's a big deal. That's like, I don't know if you would call it bragging rights, because he did get the absolute shit kicked out of him from that form. But the fact that Frieza brought about one of the most iconic moments in the show gives him some kind of, reverence from us fans. But then we got Cell, who's arguably one of the best villains in the show, because he's just so fucking cool. And then Boo showed up, and we got all these villains, and for whatever reason, they keep bringing back Frieza. And they have to have Frieza in something, and people go insane for it. And I don't know. I don't get it anymore. I really don't. I don't see the worth in Frieza anymore.
Yeah, it's because he's popular, and it's because he's popular. But like, even during that movie, like the whole movie is just a revenge plot for Frieza, for one. And there's so much disappointment in that movie. One, Super Saiyan Blue was a disappointment. Two, Frieza becoming Golden Frieza was a disappointment. And then I don't care. It makes me mad because what you're telling me is Frieza can go train for 4 months and get as strong as a god? That's what you're telling me?
Seem like a loophole to just they have to have the villain say he's stronger than the hero at some point. They're like, well, we got to do something for him. And they're like, we've never had Frieza train before, have we? And they're like, no, I don't think so. Do it, but make it an obscenely short amount of time, and make him obscenely strong because of it. And they're like, all right, cool. We're gonna make so much money off this movie. Yeah. I used to be a big Frieza fan. And not like, die-hard Frieza, but I thought he was cool, And then it was just, again, I think this is, we only talked about 5 things, but this can be like an over-encompassing thing. Dragon Ball takes something that was cool in the series, and then they just do it to death, and you see it with forms, you see it with characters, you see it with moves, you see it with everything in the show. They take something, and then they do it until people start to get tired of it. But the thing is that some people are going to get tired of it, but I think the vast majority of fans are still going to be happy, which is enough for them to keep doing it, which is how we have Frieza alive now. So, I am thankful that Frieza came back, because I got to watch Broly beat the shit out of him for an hour in that last Broly, which was an absolute treat.
He was getting rocked for an hour. And then he
probably got no hooks in. He probably didn't even touch Broly.
Then the other thing was, in Frieza Resurrection L, They kill him again at the end of the movie.
Yeah. So, why? But
yeah, that's like I said, understandable. I feel you on the Frieza thing. I don't like Frieza either. He's my least liked Dragon Ball villain. Him and Tangerine. Not Tangerine, Tambourine, because he killed Krillin. Fuck Tangerine.
Oh,
but yeah, I feel you. I guess down and below, tell us the things that you like. Do you agree with the things that we said, or are we just being little bitches and just nitpicking? That's what you think? Just tell us down below. Subscribe, like, comment, all that other YouTube stuff, and catch us in the part 2 of this one when we tell you guys about the things that we like about Dragon Ball. It'll be a way more uplifting discussion than this one is.
I think so.
As we always say, show us your attitude, or show your attitude, you wonderful, beautiful nerd. Deuces.